So what's up, ladies and pimps? So today we are out here in Utah, Bonneville, Salt Flats to be exact. So I'm out here in Utah for the next 3 days just to see some of its most beautiful sights. So I came up with the thought of sharing what's in my camera bag. So I'm gonna run through all the stuff that I brought with me, and I'm gonna give you details on why I brought it with me on this specific trip. So let's start off with the bag. So what we have here is the Peak Design 45-liter travel bag. I love this bag. I literally bring this bag with me on all my travels. I've been rocking with it for the past 5 years, no matter if it's a 2-day weekend up to the mountains or a 2-month trip out the country. I literally bring this bag with me everywhere. This bag has been treating me well, no matter how much I throw it around. It fits everything I need, and it has secret zippers to store passports, keys, air tags. This thing is weatherproof, and I also have a rain fly stored in this compartment just in case if I have anything hanging outside of the bag. Which you can see, it has a cord hook to latch on the bag. I usually have my FPV hanging out here. So next, let's talk about cameras. So for my main camera, I have the C80. I bought this earlier in the year. It's a game changer for all my productions, no matter how big or small. This camera has a 6K full frame sensor that can also downscale to 4K while using the full frame sensor. It has triple base ISO of 800, 3200, and 12,800. This helps when I don't have control of my environment and I need more light to grab a clean image. It also has 10 stops to ND, has an HDMI and SDI, so you can have a monitor on top with all your tools to monitor your image and have another line with a clean feed to send off to your client, directors, or even stream live. So one thing that I love about this camera is you can literally put an SD card and a lens on it and you're good to go. I could build this thing up for a high production and can strip it down for a trip like this. If you want a more detailed video about this camera, let me know in the comments. So for my secondary camera, I have the Canon R5. I've been rocking this thing for the past 3 years. I love this camera. It's a great hybrid camera. I use this for both stills and video, but at least for this trip, I'm using it for photos. This thing has an 8K sensor. You can also downscale it to 4K using that full frame sensor. I typically don't shoot in 8K, but it's great that I'm able to actually downscale just so I can get a sharper image. This thing came out in 2020. This camera still holds up pretty well. So another camera I brought with me was the Sure Shot Tele. This is a film camera. I love bringing this thing with me on all my trips. So for my film nerds, the stock that I used for this trip is a 200 Fujifilm. So we'll move over to the smallest camera that I brought with me, which is the GoPro Hero 9. I brought this camera because I am using it as my main camera on my FPV drone. Let's talk about lenses. So what I have here is the Canon EF 24-70 2.8. It's an all-around lens I store in all my trips. Having the versatility of a wide and tight in one lens is great for trips like these. Don't let anyone fool you. EF lenses are still good lenses, but I have thought of replacing the 24-70mm for the RF version. But that's only because the C80 does not have IBIS, and having lens stabilization for handheld shots would be great. So let's talk about my favorite lens, which is the 35mm f1.4. The reason why it's my favorite lens is not because of its fast aperture. It's because I love the aspect ratio of this lens. I typically use this lens for portraits, landscapes, and street photography. Now my last lens is the Canon EF 16-35 f4. I brought this lens to capture a wider field of view for landscapes. I usually don't bring this because 24mm is good enough for most of my needs, but there was a few shots that I wanted to use this lens for. One lens that I wish I did have for this trip is a telephoto lens. I plan on picking up the 135 or 70-200 sometime soon. I got my 100mm stolen last year and I have not replaced it yet. So for drones, I have the DJI Air 2S. I use this thing for all my drone needs. It's great for follow shots and establishing shots. It also has intelligent features, so it makes it easy capturing yourself when you're alone. So the last drone that I have with me is the iFlight Nazgul 5. This is an FPV drone. I love bringing an FPV drone on any trip that I can. This thing gets some very kick-ass shots. For goggles, I have the DJI V2s, and for the remote, I have the TVS Tango 2. So for my tripod, I use the Ulanzi travel tripod. It's lightweight, durable, and can hold my C80 with ease whenever I don't have it built up. This is a recent pickup. I have the Ulanzi suction cup. I've used this thing a few times and I can say it holds up pretty well. I used 2 of these for a spec ad where I had my camera mounted on top of a car. For whenever I'm on a hike and I need to have access to my camera, I use this camera clip by Peak Design. You simply slide it in, move the tab, and your camera is secure. For audio, I have the DJI Mic 2s, which I'm using now. This thing has 32-bit float and has about 400 feet of range, and it has internal recording. So another mic that I have is the Rode VideoMaster Pro. The laptop I brought to edit on my downtime during this trip is the MacBook Pro M1. It's fast enough to handle a hard edit. For storage, I have a 4TB SSD drive from Samsung, which is the T7 Shield. 4TB is overkill for a 3-day trip like this, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Tech bag, I have all my cables and chargers stored in this camera tech bag by Peak Design. So that's gonna wrap up all the gear that I brought during this trip. I have to head back onto the road. I have a few stops before heading back home. If you guys like to know how I spent my 3 days out here in Utah, keep a lookout for the video if it's not in the description already. For my travelers out there, what is in your camera bag? I would like to know what you bring during your travels. And well, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Let's go.